Hey everybody, it's Marco, and today in this one we're discussing all the big kings coming with the pre-patch 8.0 release on July 17th. Anyways, let's begin. First up, all Legion-based content that must be completed before the pre-patch will be retiring. This includes things like the Chosen title, Mage Tower appearances, Ahead of the Curve, Cutting Edge, Argus, all those things. If you had any plans of obtaining these, then as of right now, you have less than 1 week before they are no longer possible to complete. So if you want to obtain these, you best hurry up. When logging in, you'll notice that you're a whole lot weaker. Well, not really, just your gear has been squished down immensely, reaching numbers that are roughly around the Wrath of the Lich King era. You'll also know all the power from your artifact has fizzled into nothing. That's because many artifact traits have been funneled into your talents by default. The artifact itself will remain a stat stick until you replace it with something better, but all the traits will be disabled for good. As for relics, simply put the strongest you can find since the traits no longer apply. Take a good while to get used to your new rotation. A lot of classes have changed a whole lot. So get used to your new rotation and the global cooldown changes. Global cooldown is going to make some classes feel a little wonky at first, but it shouldn't be long before you get used to it and it'll start to feel normal playing again. Starting in 8.0, personal loot has now become baseline. Master Looter will no longer be an option for any raiding group. They will also be implementing Legacy Loot Mode. This loot setting applies to all old content in the game once you have passed the level requirement for that content by at least 10. So if you do classic content, for this to take effect, you must be at least level 70. Outland and Wrath of the Lich King content, you need to be at least level 90 for this to take effect, since they both scale to 80. Mist of Pandaria and Cataclysm scale to 90, so you need to be at least 100. Draenor content is obviously to 100, you need to be 110. Legion content will also be added to this once we reach level 120 in Battle for Azeroth. Legacy Loot Mode is great if you're trying to collect transmog, as it will no longer take your spec into consideration when dropping loot. This was a very big issue when trying to transmog farm, because some items you simply couldn't obtain even if you could add their item to your specialization. It will also provide you with the loot of an entire group when inside of a dungeon, so you're going to get more items than you used to even. And in raids, it will always act as if the maximum number of players were doing the content and provide you with all the loot respectively. War mode will now be fully activated. This means that PvP realms and PvE realms will no longer exist. You will simply enter your main faction hub of either Stormwind or Orgrimmar to enable or disable war mode. When enabled, you enter a shard with other players who have war mode activated. This carries across all realms with the exception of RP realms, which are still located only to that realm. When activated, you'll have access to PvP talents permanently, which can be pretty strong additions to your open world content. You will also receive a 10% experience bonus, assuming you aren't max level, and if you are max level, this 10% bonus will be added to world quests. If you disable war mode, you will not have to deal with any PvP content in the open world. No one on either faction will be able to attack each other freely. Professions are getting an overhaul. This means that every expansion will have their levels separated, so that means whenever new content is released, you don't have to worry about being left behind. It also means that previous expansion materials might gain a great deal of profit, seeing as if anyone wants to craft something from a previous expansion, they can no longer use cheap, highly accessible materials like Warlords of Draenor to quickly level their profession. They will have to use materials specific to each expansion. So ores, cloth, leather, herbs from each profession will garner a little more attention, as they'll be needed by anyone who wants to reach maximum rank in all professions. Assuming you aren't top rank now, you will be top rank for all previous professions. You don't have to worry about previous expansions. If you're like 800 level now, you'll be max level as soon as the update occurs. It might be worth rushing it right now to 800 with cheap, accessible materials while you still have the option. collection achievements are getting an update, so you'll be able to start hunting for things if you don't know what to do with yourself right now. The mount update is getting the achievement increased to 350 and 400 respectively. Exalted reputations are going to require 80 and 100, which is absolutely insane for exalted reps. It's crazy. There's an achievement for 400 toys, as well as one for 1,000 pets. It's pretty safe to say you'll be busy if you're an avid achievement hunter. You can also head over to your local barber shop in town. You'll notice they have some extra options available. I heard if you're an orc, they might have some chiropractic work they can do for you. And high elves, blood elves might see things a little differently. Lastly, watch out for the storyline updates leading to Battle for Azeroth. There's something about someone or something misplacing a match. I mean, I don't know what happens, but you get a mount for it, so it all works out in the end. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.